Dear friends, the quality of our lives is often dictated, forged, crafted by the kind of narratives we have about ourselves and others. And therefore, the topic of inner speech, also called self talk or the voice in our heads, is something that needs attention. In our lives, we spend 20 to 25%, as research shows, of our time in small talk, in inner speeches, sometimes aloud, sometimes silently communicating with ourselves. In that case, I believe since we invest so much in inner talk, we need to make it count. We need to see that it helps rather than hurts. We need to see that it enables us rather than disables us. And can we do that? Absolutely so. So let's look at what are the areas it does help us in. So the first point that we need to remember is the decisions that we take, the actions that we indulge in, may look like serendipity, may look like chance, but we have a role in that. The way we think and feel forges the intent that we have. And if we think differently and feel differently, we can act differently. So, our inner talk, which emerges from within us, is often a reflection of the quality of our thinking, our beliefs, our assumptions, and the accompanying emotions. Based on that, we take actions, and based on that, we have consequences. So, this is important. How do you change your way of thinking and acting? Is the inner speech related to a host of things? Yes, it is. For example, we now know that emotion regulation is possible through better inner speech. This good quality decision is possible through inner speech. Mental wellness can be impacted. Futures, our future actions can be crafted well. We can plan well. We can be aware of what's happening in us. So inner speech makes a whole lot of difference to our lives and to our actions. Let's take one process called visioning. When we look at the future in the mind's eye, that in 5 years' time I'll be this, in 10 years' time I'll be this, my son would do that in the next 4 years. What we are, when we think of such positive images, what we see in the brain, and this has been validated at Case Western and several other researchers, the brain visual cortex, the part that we actually use to see things in the real world, gets activated when we imagine what we want to see. So the pictures of the future that you create in your minds actually gets neurologically and neurally embedded in you, motivating you to do things which otherwise you would not get the energy for. So visualizing important good things in our life, actions that are noble, results that are worthy, can truly motivate you. Dream, dream big, dream good. The next thing is, it's now well established that the Broca's area, which is actually activated when you speak, is also activated when you speak to yourself. Whether you are speaking to others or you are speaking to yourself, the parts of the brain that are that get activated are, several of them are overlapping, and therefore it's important to understand that the brain is extremely active. And since while you do self-talk, it also gets active in the areas of the prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking brain, planning brain. You actually plan, think, decide, understand far better through your self-talk. As you talk to yourself and also analyze the situation you are in, your emotional brain, the hot brain, actually gets a breeze that is cool, and your rational brain takes over, and you can talk yourself out of a bad mood. For example, if you're going to the boss, or you're going to somebody whom you really have a threat perception of, if you can tell yourself that I feel good, you will feel good, you'll feel more confident. Similarly, if you think of it rather than as a threat, an opportunity to learn from that authority figure, you will be able to interact with much more gusto and energy, and you'll be much more confident. When you are not, when the negative self-talk happens, that I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, I'll be chewed up, then neurochemicals, your neurochemicals and gets into the bloodstream which are negative. There are neurochemicals like adrenaline, cortisol, which can damage you in the long run. It can make you mentally ill. It can make you anxious. It can make you lose confidence over a period of time, and you will not be at your best at all. So, how you speak about yourself, how you speak about the situation, how you speak about others, how you visualize the future makes a huge amount of difference. And this talk is something that you not only should do for yourself, but can teach your children and friends. Speak about, if you want to mediate your emotion, if you want to regulate your emotion, ask a simple question: what is the emotion I experience now? That's inner talk. Then see, once you can name that emotion, you will find that the intensity of the emotion has gone down significantly. When you reflect, several cognitive part or the thinking part of your brains, including your memory centers, get into act. And therefore, you learn far better, and it stays with you for a long, your learning stay with you. They are retained well. You can retrieve them later. So for example, ask a simple question: what went wrong? If something didn't work out, what could I have done differently? This can do wonderful self-reflection. Is an inner talk which can be used for self-reflection, is a wonderful way of getting your cognitive or thinking brain into action, so that not only do you reflect, learn better, create new theories, and try them out for superior results, but the retention of your lessons are much, much longer, much deeper. So this is a picture of how, when we can do self-reflection, our brains are activated better. This and many more lessons we will discuss as we get into the workshop, Emotional Intelligence and Certification Scale, from the 3rd to the 5th of June at Powai, Mumbai. Do write on the email. We'll send you a brochure. It will be worth it. It is one of the best workshops on emotional intelligence, probably and arguably the best in India by a long chalk. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.